Hi and welcome to this video tutorial brought to you by Crown Point Design. Today we're going to talk about 5 easy ways of improving your on-page search engine optimization. So this tutorial is intended for web designers and developers as well as non-technical users. So anyone that's pretty web savvy should have a good understanding of the topics that we talk about. By the end of the tutorial, my hope is that you'll be able to go back and analyze your own website and to determine how well you're taking advantage of some SEO techniques. I'll also mention that everything we cover here falls under the umbrella of white hat SEO, and I'll talk more about what that is in just a second. In fact, I want to start off by defining a few terms because there's so much language that's used in the web community and particularly this broad category of search engine optimization. So what we're talking about today is on-page SEO. What this is not a look at your overall website and how well optimized it is for search engines like Google and Yahoo and MSN, or even your overall web presence and your ability of taking advantage of social networking tools and other resources on the web. On-page SEO is looking at each page on your site as an individual and how well Google and these other search engines can read that content and the importance of that page to place it within the appropriate search queries. White hat SEO is a term you may or may not have heard before, but basically what we're talking about today is best practices. We're not doing anything to trick search engines, not doing anything against the rules, and to be quite honest, the Google algorithm is so far advanced these days that it's practically impossible to trick anyway. So you always want to make sure you're taking advantage of white hat practices or best practices. Last question is the most important one. What are the benefits of taking advantages of some of these techniques that we're going to talk about? Well, what we're ultimately trying to do is improve your organic search results over time. Your organic results, of course, are those unpaid advertisement or unpaid links that show up in a Google search. What we're doing is we're helping search engines understand the content of each individual page on your website so that the search engine can place it under the appropriate search queries. Now there's a lot of techniques involved in search engine optimization, but the 5 that we're going to talk about today involve in optimizing each and every individual page title. We're also going to talk about the naming of your page URLs and a little bit about your site structure. Images also have an interesting role in SEO if you use them correctly by utilizing something called an image alt tag. We'll talk about what that is. We're also going to talk about heading tags, which are referred to as H1 tags, and how those can help search engines. And lastly, we'll talk for a second about the content and the importance of content on your website. So let's move over to a browser here, and the first thing we're going to talk about is the page title. Now, you'll notice the page title is displayed at the very top of your web browser. The page title for this particular page says Crown Point Design, SEO, Web, Graphic Design, San Diego, which is where we're headquartered. Now, you notice that there's a few keywords used there, which are also used throughout the body of this particular page, but I want to point out something else. I'm going to do a quick Google search for Crown Point Design, and you'll notice the first thing that comes up is the website. And the actual hyperlink for this website is the exact page title which I just showed you, which is the Google has indexed here for my website, the Crown Point Design. So it's important to understand that the page title is not only displayed within the web browser, but it's also displayed by the search engines. So let's come back to the website and let's browse over to another page. Let's come to the SEO page of the website. Now you'll notice the page title for this site is Search Engine Optimization, SEO Packages for Improved Google Searches. You'll notice that there's an individual unique page title for this page, also using some phrase here and other keywords that may be relevant. So it's important to notice the unique page titles for each page, the utilization of keywords, and then lastly you want to know that you need to keep your page titles to no more than 70 characters. Otherwise they may be cut off by certain web browsers or search engines. The next thing we want to talk about is the page name URLs. Now this is created during page creation, although it can be altered at any time. But if you look at this particular page, it's under the domain of crownpointdesigns.com, and it lives in a subfolder called Search Engine Optimization-SEO. And the actual page name is this last extension here, which is website optimization-SEO. Now you notice the use of keywords used here as well, but it's also important to understand where this is living. It's in the subcategory of search engine optimization. So Google therefore can determine how your site is laid out. To use a different example, if you're a company that has a lot of products, you may have folders for your individual product categories, and you may have subcategories below that. So the more well organized your site structure is, the better experience the Google bots are going to have when they browse your website and understand what content lives where. Moving on to image alt tags. Now, images have an important role here. You'll notice that when I scroll over an image, there's a certain alt tag that shows up. Now, to back up for a second, when search engines come and browse your website, they have no way of determining what the content of any or text that's used in any image is. So you have to be able to somehow tell a search engine that this image has to do with this content. Now, that's where an image alt tag comes into play. You can see the scroll over for this image says search engine optimization. I'll come up to my logo. You'll see it says Crown Point Design. If we scroll down here a little bit, there's a free consultation button. It says free SEO consultation, which is something we offer. You'll notice the use of alt tags used here, and the importance there is that they help tell the search engines what that particular image is. Otherwise, without using that, images are completely useless when it comes to SEO. There's also other things that are important about images, including the image size and other things that help slow down a page that can affect the SEO. But the lesson here is to take advantage of alt tags on every individual page throughout your site, or image throughout your site, excuse me. The next thing is heading tags. Now, heading tags you can think of the way that newspapers and magazines use headings and subheadings to describe to the reader what their article is all about. On the web, we use heading tags, also referred to as H1 tags, H2 tags, etc. Now, the H1 tag for this page may have optimize your website. The search engine will now know that the content that falls into that section has to do with optimizing your website. It's basically a way of telling these search engines what the content is all about. And that's important. It actually leads us into our last topic that we want to talk about, which is content for your site. The content is ultimately king on your website, and search engines have not lost sight of that. In fact, they know that the reason that people are doing their search queries is to find information. That information most of the time lies within the content or the text of your site. So it's important to do a few things. You certainly don't want to have any misspellings on your website. You want to avoid the use of slang or IMing type text. You want to avoid any sentence fragments, and basically you want to keep your site content as grammatically correct as you can, because Google frowns upon any bad language or bad use of language throughout your website. So those are the topics that we wanted to talk about here today, and now you should be able to go back and analyze your own website and determine how well you're taking advantage of some of these techniques. And I also encourage you to look at some of your competitors, because there's so many websites out there that aren't using these simple on-page techniques. And if they aren't, there's certainly opportunity for your site to improve in its optimization. Well, that's the tutorial for today, brought to you by Crown Point Design. We encourage you to visit the website at crownpointdesigns.com and look for more information on search engine optimization techniques.